tough. That was tough. That was tough.
You love to see it. Marcus Spears loves it. Adam Schefter, Mina Kimes, Ryan Clark, Dan Orlovsky, Field Yates, and Peter Schrager join us in just a little bit. And if that doesn't get ready, I don't know what does. There's so much to get to. We are here for 2 hours with you, by the way, so stay with us all the way. The coverage continues here on ESPN and over on ABC. Make sure your pocket squares are in.
Is it going to snow?
It's a little chilly, but you're being dramatic. Dan's been in the tropics too long here in the offseason. I don't know what's going on. All right, let's get to our great reporters. Jeff Darlington is with the Tennessee Titans. Jeremy Fowler is with the Cleveland Browns. We're going to begin with you, Jeff. When did the Titans decide they were going to stand strong, hold strong at that #1 overall pick?
Well, it's been a little while since they really decided that they would take this #1 overall pick, something that they did make public this week, that they have no plans on moving. And I can tell you this, that there is one team in the New York Giants that did make an aggressive pursuit to move into that #1 spot. I'm told by my Titans sources that the Giants were the most aggressive team to move to that one spot. And I'm told by my Giants sources that they were made very clear by the Titans that they were not going to trade out of that first pick. And that is because we do anticipate that they will select Cam Ward in that spot. Now, I can tell you this when it comes to Ward. It was late March at his pro day. Cam Ward was out there and he fired a missile across the middle, and it was a beautifully completed pass. And he walked over to the Titans brass and he said to them, "I am going to solidify it today." And I'm not saying that that was the very moment that he did, in fact, solidify himself as being the selection here. But I will tell you that that is a day when the Titans truly fell in love with not only the player, but the person as well. They made very clear to me that they really love this guy. And one other quick added note on free agency, they also signed wide receiver Tyler Lockett, so maybe a little bit of depth for Cam Ward if, in fact, he is that #1 pick. Now, let's go to Jeremy Fowler for more on the Cleveland Browns.
Thank you, Jeff. The Cleveland Browns remain open-minded on potentially dealing that #2 overall pick. Sources here tell me it'd be foolish to not at least consider some overtures from teams. And the Browns have heard from multiple teams in the last 24 to 48 hours flirting with the idea of potentially moving up to #2. But most of my sources around the league do expect Cleveland to stay put. Take Colorado's Travis Hunter. The process has been brilliant with him throughout. He's highly impressed them, and there's been momentum there really for the last few weeks. And then that leaves the quarterback position. The Browns, I'm told, are expected to address quarterback at some point among their 10 draft picks in this year's class, but they're not going to force it. I'm told from sources here that they're prepared to, stay nimble and move up into the late first round if they have to, but they would rather stay put at their 33rd overall pick, top of the second round, and dictate terms. I can confirm that there is at least some love here in this building for Shedeur Sanders should he fall. Back to you, Laura.
All right, thanks so much to Jeremy and Jeff. We will have reports throughout the show, the latest you need to know ahead of the first round. Now, Hunter does it all. He ranked in the top 5 in yards and touchdowns as a receiver, managed 4 interceptions on defense, which ranked in the top 25. He played in over 1,400 snaps on both sides of the ball, the most by any player in a season as far back as we have the data. He's exceptional. He's otherworldly. What are you hearing, Adam, tonight about the plans for Cleveland?
Well, you heard Jeremy Fowler talk about the fact that they're open to listening. So the Browns have been keeping those phone lines open in the event that anybody should blow them away with an offer that they feel like they can't refuse at that point in time. We'll see whether one of those offers comes in. Otherwise, they're prepared to sit there. And I think the focus tonight is where and if the Cleveland Browns would find a quarterback. Let's keep in mind, they have the first pick in the second round on Friday night. They're positioned there to get a quarterback. And speaking with the organization, they don't sound overly enthused about having to trade up. That's not been the history of this team. They certainly could, but that has not been their history. I think right now they're listening at 2. They're prepared to make the pick. They're prepared to be flexible. And I don't know that they are as desperate to go get a quarterback tonight and tomorrow night as some people might think.
All right, keep an eye on that either way. We know that Travis Hunter wants to play on both sides of the ball, but if you're Cleveland, if you're drafting him, where are you playing him?
In a vacuum, I would like him to be cornerback with some wide receiver mixed in. I think that's the path to him being one of the best at his position in the NFL, the fastest. However, for Cleveland in particular, I do understand the impetus of playing him at wide receiver primarily. I mean, if you just pretend like the cornerback tape doesn't exist and look at him and study him as a wide receiver, he is quite clearly the best wide receiver in this class. He has rare athleticism, and I'm not talking about long speed. I'm talking about that stop-start deceleration ability that makes him so elusive in the open field, and he has rare ball skills. That is the building blocks for a truly great wide receiver. He's got stuff to work on, but I don't hate it.
You couldn't give me enough picks to get out of 2 if I was Cleveland. I would take Travis Hunter, and you couldn't offer me enough first-round picks. I would play him at wide receiver. I think everyone needs to remember how much offenses, specifically in Cleveland, shifts, motions, the different places he's going to line up. So the wherewithal and understanding of how to get there is going to be a huge part. I wanted to ask RC this because I also would play him on both sides of the ball. Remember, the wide receiver ball skills, the way he could track it, the body control, totally on board. Everybody consistently raves about his football instincts, his athletic instincts. Why can't he play free safety? Like, why can't a defense just put him in the middle of the field and say, see the ball, get the ball?
There's an aspect to free safety, even in today's game, of being able to stop the run, also being able to not only line yourself up, but line everyone else up around you and have concern for how they do their job. I wouldn't want to put Travis Hunter in that position because I'd want to see him do this defensively, which is play the quarterback position. And to me, he enters the league today being able to do what Trayvon Diggs has done throughout his career. I want you to watch this vision. Right now, he's at the clouds corner. He's going to see quickly that it's the screen. Watch the vision to break. You go and finish. You don't have to be a killer. You just got to get him on the ground. There, he finishes, he gets up, and it's a tackle for loss. Now I want to see him run the route for the wide receiver. Watch as he smooths and he turns underneath him, gets his eyes back to the quarterback, and he high points the ball. Those sorts of skills translate right away. I want to show you this, and this is not even an interception, but you are playing the DK Metcalfs. You're playing the bigger, wider receivers. Can you get to the high point?
Yeah.
Travis Hunter, right now, vision on the ball, gets up with both hands. And if you're going to get drafted number 2 or number 3, show me some SHIT that I can't see nowhere else. And that's what you get. First game at Colorado versus TCU. That's cover 0. Comes off of his coverage and makes a huge pick. The dude got it all.
That's that pick, the second one where he breaks
It's
in. I was laughing when I first saw that.
The vision,
Insane.
the athletic the
Crazy.
instincts are
And I'm
just-
sorry, I know they can't show that.
No.
I can't be
Listen,
spelling curse
just
words.
don't spell. Nobody at home knows how to
Sorry.
spell. It's fine. Go ahead, Swag.
I really will. I love it. I love it, RC. And you don't even curse. That's the funny thing. Listen, here's the thing with Travis Hunter for me, man. Like, if you Cleveland, take him as a wide receiver because you don't need him in the secondary. You don't need him to come and improve upon that defense. That's why I'm like, this decision, obviously we've talked about Travis Hunter going to Cleveland. Barry, the GM, has made a lot of comments about him, Shohei Ohtani, and how great he think he is. But is he going to really be that effective being a cornerback for you when you got Denzel Ward back there, when you have Emerson, when you have all of those
Well,
guys?
let me push that, Marcus. They play man coverage.
Dan, which is fine, but you already are good back there. It's my point. Like, if you telling me you're going to take the second pick to get rid of a good corner to upgrade the position, I would say no. Just take him as a wide receiver and play him there full time.
Are you suggesting that because Cleveland's scheme, Jim Schwartz, fairly simple, play the most man coverage
Go cover
in the
that
league,
guy.
cover 3,
Go cover
it
that
would
guy.
be easier potentially for Travis Hunter to play a
they-
little bit corner there?
Yeah.
But they have that guy making $100 million.
They have good players, but it's going to be an impossibility as a coach, as a coordinator, to know that Travis Hunter